could talk to you, I know you'd understand the feelings of a live woman. You're taking you by the hand, and if these walls could tell you about all the things I've done, I know the walls would say to you, hey, you're the only one. And if these walls could only talk, and if these walls could only say, and if these walls could talk to you, maybe they could tell you something I already knew. And if these walls could tell you about the loved ones from my past, I know the walls would say to you they knew that we would last. And if these walls could only say, baby, I love you, I know the walls will let you know they knew that it were true. And if these walls could only talk, and if these walls could only say, and if these walls could talk to you, maybe they could tell you something I already knew. Yeah, maybe they could tell you something I already knew.
That's my mama up there in the red shirt with my wife. My wife sure thought a lot of her. That's one of our big fish tanks we used to have. We raised all kinds of fish. That's my wife's first vehicle, that old motorcycle back there, dirt bike. That was her stepdad. We didn't go on many vacations, maybe 2 or 3 over all these years. Most things revolved around hunting and fishing, trapping, and just anything outdoors. She loved it as much as I did, mostly fishing. But I've realized that's our honeymoon picture right there. We went trout fishing. Took her dad and her stepmom with us, but most of these pictures, sorry, they're sideways and upside down and everything else. I was just going through the book. There's her dad. We only had a 35mm camera, so somebody had to take the picture. There we are out with my mom and dad, probably in the mountains or something. She was born in 1969, and 35 years ago, I married her. A couple years before that, I kissed her. I'll never forget it. But it's been adventure after adventure. She growed up in the country, 5 brothers and sisters, and she understood that eating from the land and hunting and fishing and trapping needed done. And there's about a 3-4 pound goldfish she caught. We was blown away at that time. I put it on a stringer because she didn't want to touch it. But she's come a long way since then. She'll throw a hind quarter to a deer up on her shoulder and put it on the cutting board, or she did. And she could cut it up quicker than I can. But lots of fishing. She sure loved to fish. Now, before we was married, I was into drag racing quite a bit, and street racing too. I got in a little bit of trouble. But then I met my wife, and I still had my race car. I traded it for a truck. This right here's our first date. I'll never forget it. Oh my. And there's my race car. Her and I walked after we got married because her car blew up. Walked for miles and miles because we heard that car was for sale and we bought it back. Immediately, without even checking oil, we drove it all the way back up north. We had to move up there for 14 years. That's my daughter's first fishing trip on 18 inches of ice. That's the first house we ever bought. There I am carrying dead animals into it already. But, I could go on and on. There's a lot in 35 years, but all of a sudden, we were old. We joked about many times over the years being old, and then it happened. This was one of our anniversaries years ago. We was at my great Aunt Faye's place. That was her old home place. It's gone now. My wife looked at me down the holler tracking a bear and she said, "Happy anniversary." I totally forgot. She didn't mind one bit. Ain't she pretty? She took a lot of photos for me. There she is on the trap line with me. She went a lot. She loved it. Always fishing. We raised a lot of dogs. We spent a lot of time. That time went real quick. Real quick. Kind of blew me away. Ain't she pretty? She made this video for me. Me putting a coyote on a catch pole. No big deal. She kind of told me to show on my YouTube. I was just posting stupid stuff. Show what I do. This thing here got millions of views. I don't know why. She become a good camera woman. She got to take a lot of photos. I didn't seem to take very many, but she didn't like her picture being took. Fella could get knocked out doing that. Fishing, fishing, fishing. There she is on trap line with me again. She drove for miles in the cold. There's one of our anniversaries. And I don't know. I worked at a paper mill and roofing both full time. She worked at a bank full time. I sold stuff. There she is finding a sign for me on the trap line. I sold things I made. I did everything I could to scrape up enough money to move home. And we did. And I'm glad we did, because then I got more time. Only one job. Happy anniversary, babe. 35 years. I love you. Always remember, we made it.